Hi, in this video we will learn about input and output redirections in Linux. And here we have all the topics which we are going to understand in this entire lecture. So let's start. What is redirections? Redirection is a Linux feature. With the help of it, you are able to change standard input-output devices. In Linux, when you enter a command as an input, you receive an output. It's the basic workflow of Linux. For example, suppose we want to run a command called date. If we run it, it will print the output to the current terminal screen. But suppose our requirement is different. We do not want the output to be displayed on the terminal. We want the output to be saved in a file. This could be done very easily with output redirection. So here redirection simply means diverting the output or input. The standard input or std-in device to give commands is the keyboard, and the standard output or std-out device is your terminal screen. With redirection, you can change the standard input output. So here we have about standard input. The standard input or std-in is the command that we type in our terminal to interact with the Linux kernel. Suppose I am typing ls command. So here ls command is the standard input which I am giving to the system, and in result I am getting some output. So that is your standard output. The standard output or std-out is the output of a running process or command given to the Linux kernel through standard input and is displayed on the terminal. So every output has a predefined default place to go in the Unix based operating systems. Some of the methods for redirecting output are given below. Here we have the standard output redirections, standard input redirections, and you can see the symbol as well. So we need to understand all of them one by one. So with this diagram, you can easily understand about the input-output redirections. So here, std-in is the input that you are giving to your system using the keyboard. And once you fire any command or any script you are going to execute, at the back end it is going to execute a process. And that process needs memory or CPU. And you will get some result, that is your std-out. The result would be coming in your screen or terminal. Maybe you will get some error as well. So that is your std error. Now the next is standard output redirection. So the output from the command normally intended for standard output can be easily diverted to a file instead. So this capability is known as output redirection. And this is the symbol that we can use for the std-out redirection. And here we have taken a very simple example. Suppose I am firing this ls-ltr. So this is my input, and I'm getting some output of this command. I want to redirect the output of this command into a file. For that, I'm going to use this standard output redirection symbol. So the output of this command is going into this file. Like this way, we have another command like date command, and I want the output of this command should go into this file. Once you fire this command, at the terminal or at the screen, you won't get any output because the output is going into this file. Here we have one important point. Use the correct file name while redirecting command output to a file. If there is an existing file with the same name, the redirected command will delete the contents of that file and then it may be overwritten. So if you are going to use single greater than sign, it is going to overwrite into the file. If the file is not existing, it is going to create a new file. The next is standard output redirection, and here I am going to use 2 greater sign. So it is going to append. So if you do not want a file to be overwritten but want to add more content to an existing file, then you should use this symbol, or we can say this operator. And I have taken a very simple example. This is my file, and this is an existing file which is having some content. And here I have used echo command, and in the echo I have just mentioned which is the best Linux distribution, and here I have used append command. So it is not going to overwrite the content, it is going to append the content. So finally, if I am going to get that file, you can see the previous content as well as my new content. The next is standard input redirection. Input redirection is a method in which the standard input of a command is redirected from a file or a standard output of another command. So the symbol or sign is this one, is used for input redirection. It is mostly the default action of a command. For example, so I have simply used less. Less is a command, and it takes the input from a file that is /etc/passwd. So if you are going to fire this command is going to take the input from this file. And you can also use the symbol 0 and a smaller sign. Can also be used for redirecting the standard input. The next is standard error redirection, and the symbol is 2 greater. So with the redirection method, the standard errors can be redirected and written to a file. So let's understand with this example. So this is a very simple command, and after that I have used standard error redirection 2 greater and error. So here error is a file. So when you fire this command, might be there is some error. So those error is going inside this file. If any errors occurs, it will not show on the terminal window. Rather, it will be stored in an error file. If the error file already exists, then it will be overwritten. Now here we have a standard output and a standard error redirection. For that, you can use this one. So with this sign, there is more efficient way to redirect standard output and a standard error simultaneously. So here we have taken one example. So this is the command, and it has given this symbol. So all the packages name and errors will be stored in the file name, that is package names. So here, whatever the useful output and error output, both are going into this file.